You were 18 months old, Jamie. You had another unfortunate. You were just a child, a toddler. You had an unfortunate experience.
Yes, yeah. I think the 18 month is like an estimate, really. It's probably a bit younger. I was in a pushchair. I was out with my uncle, just taking me out, walk around the park or whatever. And I just started screaming, and obviously I don't remember it. I was only little, but my eye was all swollen, and went all red around the area and things like that. So I had to go to the doctors, emergency doctors, who sent me to a hospital, and they discovered I'd been stung in the eye by a bee in the eyeball. So yeah, it's a case of wrong place at the wrong time. And the thing was, if it was a wasp, I think the damage wouldn't have been so bad, because a wasp will sting and carry on. But when a bee stings you, the sting actually breaks off.
Right.
And that was the problem. So I had the sting in my eyeball, and that's what caused the damage.
How unfortunate was that?
I know, wrong place at the wrong time.
That was very unfortunate, and even like to this day, like Jamie, how does that affect you when it doesn't affect you obviously when you're playing darts?
No, not at all, not really, because I think when I made my first World Championship, the press thought it were unbelievable, psychoptic and this and that, and you'll do it's incredible because you can't even see it's on my right hand side. So being right-handed, I don't see. I'm left-eye dominant because I have to be.
Yes.
So I don't see my dart till I've thrown it. So it's all muscle memory, really, more than anything. But they were making a big deal of it, and I always thought, it's no big deal to me because I've never known any different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If I was a pro dart player and I was earning a good living, and all of a sudden I lost the sight in my eye and I had to start again, yeah, I get that. That'd be a big story. But the fact that, maybe I'm just too modest, I don't know. But the fact that it's never really, I've never known any different. It doesn't change anything really. It's not a big deal as such.
You've grown up with it, and so you'd like literally, you don't have any vision in the right eye, is it?
No, not at all.
And it's an unfortunate story. But again, when I've been looking at your profile, Jamie, before I started, was just sort of getting the interview together, it's quite an inspirational story, I find, Jamie, because you've had a number of setbacks, and you haven't let it affect you in any way, and I really admire that about you, in the sense of, well, it's obviously affected you at times in your life, but what I mean is, you've gone on to become a professional dart player, and it's a tough sport, darts, to be successful in, and you've had a decent amount of success, so it's more credit to yourself, Jamie. Do you know?
Yeah, I guess so. It led to, I wrote a book in 2013. We released it in 2013 called The Way I See the Game. The I being EYE because of my sight in my eye. I'd been a pro dart player for only 5 years, and I thought, you know what, there's not enough, I've not got enough content to really put into like an autobiography or anything like that. So what we decided was I'd write about how it's been for me with sight, and then my problems with the pancreas, the tumours and things like that, and use it as more of an inspirational account,
Yes.
So basically, if somebody's got any adversity and they want to achieve something, there's no reason why you still can't do that. No matter when it's all the odds are stacked against you.
That's a great.
If you can then go out, and that's what I thought. And if that could make one person, turn his life around or her life around and go and achieve something because they've taken inspiration from that book, then that's done its job.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have inspired many, Jamie, and I find your story inspirational, and it definitely is. And that book, I'm sure, has proven popular with many, I'd say, Jamie.
Yeah, I think there's been quite a few sold all over. I've been all over the world, really. I've been, exhibition-wise, I've been over to Australia and New Zealand and all over Europe. I've been to Ireland many times, and sold hundreds and hundreds of copies, thousands probably. And I believe that there's a lot still sold through things like Google and stuff like that. So yeah, I dare say that it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, without doubt, Jimmy.